Update awareness of Mullan Bench Subdivision Agreement from 2009, Andy Short.
Yeah, so no decision to be made about anything. I became aware of this a couple months back, and I just wanted to bring it to everybody's attention so you know that it's hanging out there. The Jensens were going to be here today, but somebody got exposed to COVID, so I said, hey, we're not making any kind of decisions, but just so you're aware, they were aware of it, Clay and Jim, and they were going to show up, but they chose not to, based on that circumstance. So you guys probably read this thing. 2000, when Mullan Bench Phase 3 was approved, it was approved with an improvements agreement. They didn't want to pave the roads until 2 years, whatever, after the deal. So this was between the county and 5Js. I think this was when their dad was still alive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing he was the president of 5Js. So the gist of it is, hey, we're gonna pave these roads, and if we don't, the county gets lot 7. And it's going to be executed within 2 years, and on, right? It kind of, we can certainly go through all the details of it, and I believe Doug Austin created the agreement, but and they could extend it for a year.
So
The road, yeah, go ahead.
Clarification on
Yeah.
the language in here. So regarding the security, to secure the performance of their obligations, the developer, they shall execute a mortgage for Lot 7 to the county. This mortgage shall expire when the county accepts the completed road improvements. So what does that mean? You mean they give it to us and then?
So that would have been the deal. Lot 7 sold and gone. And I found this this mortgage document. So it looks like there was a draft at some point that this was going to get filed, and it didn't. So there was no encumbrance on Lot 7, and Lot 7's gone. And this is just, I don't know what transpired at the time, right? It's something Tim overlooked or whatever. I don't know. But yeah, all the lots out there are sold.
Did they do any other road improvements? Anything in this agreement get completed?
No. And the way that it was brought to my attention is Clay called me a couple months ago, and he was like, "Hey, we're getting ready. Time to pave the road," and kind of talking about it. And I was like, "I don't know what you're talking about, Clay." So then Candace pulled the subdivision file, and then I just started looking through everything. And I was like, "Oh, we got this thing." Their plan is to pave it. I think obviously they're going to wait till the plan is to pave it. We're going to pave it in the spring. So really, there's nothing necessarily to be done.
Did anybody offer up an explanation on how they put the cart in front of the horse and let Lot 7 go?
No, we didn't really. I didn't even really get in the details of it. It was just like I was like, oh, we got this thing. But it is good timing for a couple reasons, because the two, Lower Meadows in Alberton and Clark Fork Meadows over here, both those developers are proposing to bond for all the improvements. And so it's a good time because it's just like just as a discussion point to be like, hey, there's some risk involved. Just I know our subdivision regulations allow it, but there is some risk involved if it's not handled correctly. How we do it now. The only one I've had in that situation was Brockway's over there, and that was just for those approaches. And he did this when it was approved. This was before my time, but when he did that, he did this. It allows you to bond with property, which I think is a bad idea because all of a sudden you're in the county's got a lot, right? And depending on the real estate market, it might be worth not what it's worth to install the improvements. Out there, I wasn't that worried, right? Because it was just those approaches. I thought anything we got for a lot out there would cover the cost. But Brockway ended up bonding out there, which is a much more
Cleaner way
to do, because then we can actually attack the bond. But those bonds expire, and so if somebody's not watching it, just like this, expires. I think this would be something to bring up to Ellen, but I feel like this is enforceable. And the good thing is, 5Js is still, they're a local developer.
Yeah.
To where these other projects that we have, these are out-of-state guys, right? And the minute they get approval, they could turn around and sell that thing. So anyway, I thought it was kind of good timing that this popped up, just to kind of talk about it and just be like, hey, there's risk involved, and there's risk on many levels, right? Like, if they did default, all of a sudden our office is running a $250,000 construction project, which nobody's got time to be doing that. So just awareness that it appears on paper that it's all pretty clean, but if someone actually does default, it's going to be a burden. So just thinking about that when you guys make those decisions. No decisions to be made on this. Just if you guys had any questions on when I read this, I feel like it's pretty tight as far as the county's concerned. Like we're protected on many levels. Obviously lot 7's gone, so now it's just 5Js that we would, that you would have to sue 5Js, right, if they were to not follow through with this, if you wanted to, right? But I think there's some exposure to the county right now with the people that live out there. I don't know how much they're jumping up and down wanting this paved. They might not even be aware, or they might be like, hey, when's that getting paved? I thought you guys were gonna pave it. And I think that's kind of why Clay was, maybe somebody had talked to him about it, or when they were selling lots, or like.
But when he talked to you, he said they were getting ready to do that.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons that probably that wasn't done in that time frame to begin with was, I don't think very many of those lots had sold at that time.
Yeah.
It's pretty hard to put somebody out there paving if you're not bringing in the money.
Yeah, that would have been 2010. But the agreement was,
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
not.
I know, yeah.
That's not, it even has a stipulation there that has nothing to do with lot sales.
Yeah, I know.
And for good reason, right? And then we're not talking about it
Right.
12 years later, 10 years later, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Haggling over whether the market really was good or bad. It's in the
Yeah,
document that,
yeah, I know.
yeah.
Yeah, and it does create an unnecessary headache for us if this isn't handled when it's supposed to be handled, right? It's just this old mess. But that's it, really. I think what we'll do is we'll set up another meeting when when the Jensens are available, and we'll just kind of talk about it. There was one other item in here. This, back in the day when this was done, the county would actually do inspections, and the county doesn't want anything to do with that anymore. Where we certify roads, right? Because if we do that, then it's like, all of a sudden the road starts falling apart in 12 months. We certified it. We said it was up to our standards. Then I feel like we're on the hook for maintenance on it. So that might be an item to negotiate when they come back, is say, hey, we want it certified by an outside party, outside engineer, and the applicant would be responsible for that. Because that's how we do it now, right? Road gets built, engineer certifies it, that's part of final plat.
So this, back in the day, this was before me, so you're saying that now, rather than do the county gets a lot that they could potentially sell and then pay for all this, you're saying the preferred way today would probably be the way we did it out there, where he was bonded? Is that easy for them to do?
I think the textbook way to do it is an agreement and then a bond with it. Our subdivision regulations do still allow for this, where we can have a lot, or they can put up property to bond it. And I mean, maybe nowadays that might be I think some people are, if that's their only way they can do it, I think that's a solution. But it's not very clean, because then all of a sudden you're in real estate business, and having to deal with that, other than just getting the cash and then paying someone to put the improvements in.
Right.
You're having to sell a lot, and who knows if you can sell it. Anyway, it just complicates the matter. But in today, the gold standard would be improvements agreement. It's backed up by a bond, and then of course it goes back on us to track that bond's expiration date. And so if things aren't put in, then the county has to go attack the bond. And it's pretty straightforward. If they haven't put their stuff in, then, as long as the bank's still solvent that they got the bond from. I like when Broadway did it, because it was the bond was right over here, right? So you knew the person that was writing it. And, if it's some bank in California where is this really a savings and loan? Is this a
just
bank?
a P.O. box?
Yeah.
A post office box bank? What do you think, Mount Shasta? Anything to add to that?
No, sounds good to me.
Okay. Probably hard to tell, but do you, anything else like this floating around that we're unaware of?
We won't know.
We won't know.
Till it pops up. Yeah.
And probably wouldn't have known about this one if they hadn't called in.
No, Clay, if I wasn't talking to Clay.
Yeah.
Jim would always kind of say something about it. I just never knew he would.
Yeah.
I was just like, what is he always talking
Because those commissioners aren't even here anymore that this was done under.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's, I feel like that's always a goal of mine, is to reduce the future suffering.
Yeah.
So clean things up. So the future commissioners, the future planner, not suffering. So
The real problems that we've had are when the commissioners from like 1928 go and do a little deal or a road, and then the problem comes up in today's world, and then it's like, oh my gosh, how do you untangle the mess at this point in time?
yeah, right. All the
You know?
hey, we're gonna service this road, we're gonna maintain this road.
Well, the road wasn't built wide enough where it goes through the neighbor's yard, and there never was an easement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. And that's what. Yeah. Moving forward, we'll try to always avoid those things.
Yeah.
So when we do those subdivision approvals, that's my main focus. Is like, let's get all this cleaned up. And so the other risk is, of course, our office is tracking the expiration of those bonds, I get hit by a bus, Candace gets, something happens to us, it's just a notice on our calendar.
Right.
So just also something to think about as well. I don't know any.
How long are they good for?
They're typically like 2 years.
2 years?
Yeah. But, in 2008, Missoula, I saw it all over the place in Missoula. People had bonded for things, and then so many developers went belly up.
Yeah.
And they weren't they weren't tracking those expiration dates on those bonds, and half the bonds expired, and they couldn't come back and put improvements in. And so they had to wait till people bought those developments again, and then convince the developer
Was that when it happened like up Grant Creek or something? Was there a big deal like that somewhere on the north side?
Yeah, that's like your biggest example of it. What is that? Glen Eagle?
I can't remember hearing
Glen
about
Eagle
that. It
subdivision,
sounded like
yeah,
it was
that-
a real expensive snafu too.
That one's massive, because that was city sewer, city water.
Right.
Yeah, yeah. But that's it, really, on that item. And then I got a couple like housekeeping things that, since I'm here, to talk about.
Okay.
Transportation Alternatives Grant. Your name's all over this, Roman. My name was all over it. The sewer district or the resort district applied for a grant out there at St. Regis for transportation alternatives grant for the trails. You familiar with that?
Kinda, I think. Keep talking.
Basically, it's the what do they call this road? It's old Highway 10 trail extension, basically to link up the park, St. Regis Park, just to allow the pedestrians a safe travel corridor down there. I wasn't involved with it, but they got it awarded, which is great. Success.
They did.
TA grant. There's some matching funds, but we're the sponsor. The county's the sponsor. So, Dawn, I would like to set up. How's next Friday looking for everybody?
We have some morning stuff going on, but I think we have availability.
Talking January 7.
I don't want to do it then. How about the let's do it the 14th. Yeah, let's do it the 14th.
The calendar on the right is the 22.
7th.
Don't look
yeah.
on the left one, it's the 21.
We can change that.
So what does
Yeah.
the grant say?
I
I might remember this if.
wonder if I got the aerial. That's always the helpful.
How much is it for?
Let's see here. I think I've got the numbers. Do I? It's a big one.
We're good on January 14th. Andy, pick your time.
Let's do 10 o'clock. And it'll just be Roman signing it.
Oh, it's just a signing of it.
Yeah,
So is this an action item?
it is an action item. Let's see. 300,000. The total matching from the county, which is the resort district's going to write a check to the county,
Okay.
which should be a pass-through operation, is $40,000. I don't have a layout that kind of shows everything.
Of where the sidewalks or trails gonna go, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's basically I think it's gonna run from the intersection down Highway 10 to the park on the north side.
That was one that they already had engineered, and that's why they looked at it and they could award it because they knew what it was looking like.
Yeah, they've been working on it for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. but I think they only awarded 10 of the 50 projects, so, yeah.
You were
So,
lucky.
Yeah, yeah. No, it'll be a good one.
How much time do you need?
20 minutes.
20 minutes?
Yeah, 15, 20 minutes.
I'm gonna say half hour.
Hour.
You're getting 30 minutes.
Dwayne wants to talk about it.
Yeah, I can give you an hour. Dwayne?
7 years ago.
Yep.
There was a town named St. Regis.
Center of the universe.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah, chairman of the commissioners and clerk and recorder. That's the signature page. Dwayne, you can have that.
All right, thanks.
That. And then
More nightly reading.
this is next Friday, so I just want to give everybody their copy.
Oh, some more good bedtime reading.
Yeah, Don, you can
Take Lori's, you read
take
hers.
yours. Yeah. And I did just find out on this one that they were going to try to bond for everything.
Oh, good.
So that's roads, trail, fire suppression system, electrical. It might be in the $300,000-$400,000 range. But I asked that they prepare an engineer's estimate for you guys so you can see how big a chunk we're talking.
This is the big one, huh?
Yeah, biggest one we've seen since when? Trying to think. What was the last big one? Yeah, I mean nothing. Is any big since 2008? I mean, other than Shyrock, I guess Shyrock, but that's all phased.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And the Brockway one and the St. Regis one lately haven't been, 7 to 12 lots or 14?
yeah, nothing
This one-
over. Yeah,
Yeah, this one's 36.
6. Yeah. So.
Did the planning board?
Yep,
Oh,
that's,
you got the
that's
recommendation?
that's the planning board staff report.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Jan 7.
We're here together.
All right. We have the 11 o'clock, and on the agenda it is, let's see, request to have the monthly television bill in the jail automatically paid on the credit card to avoid service shutdown due to late payment.
Right. And it's not a late payment, that's what I was saying earlier, it's not a late payment on their part. So the claim came in, I processed the claim, I believe, I didn't research this, but I believe it was on the week that we do payroll.
It was right here.
Was
So
that-
it's
was that the-
brought in on December 2nd. The statement date is 11/16, and she paid on
Yeah.
12/10.
So I got it, I put it in claims, and I think it was a payroll week. So it sat
Yeah.
there, and then we did the claims week, the way they do this thing.
And then it's
By the
on
time
a
it got
Friday to
sent out-
sign it. Yeah.
Right, so it's not her fault, it's not my fault, and believe me, I've made my errors where I've forgotten to put in the claim, I've forgotten to sign the claim, which put us in late payment status on some of our stuff. So this isn't a his or her,
Repeat the date on the statement that it, and it's.
11/16.
11/16 was the statement date. It was due on 12/5.
12/5.
It was received on our office on 12/2. Claims were paid on 12/9 or 10.
Right, so everything was, I mean, the day I got it is the day I filed the claim.
yeah.
But you're locked in that cycle if you don't do something different.
Exactly.
Because,
And-
yeah, they're mailing it out and it takes about a week to get here.
And I've had them set up
Right.
now where I get the email the day it comes out to my email address.
Mhm.
But again, if we're in that off cycle,
Mhm.
and so what they really want is to do it electronically. They want to be paid electronically through a debit.
Oh, that's,
And we're not set up for that. And so the easiest suggestion would be just let it hit the credit card every month, and then we'll do a claim to them on the credit card. And instead of wasting your time, all we had to do was talk to the person, but Mike just wanted to get your blessing so you could miss a step, I think. So,
what do you say about that fix, that remedy?
I mean, it's his credit card, he can do as he wishes. I mean, it's not up to me what he can,
we just know
can
that
and
you
can't do
don't
with his
like
credit
doing
card.
that
Mhm.
with those.
Right,
so-
the only reason being is just, we need those invoices when it's paid,
Right.
that's it.
So
Because
I-
we need to pay these bills, whether they're signed or not. I mean, we have to pay the credit card, we
Oh,
have to
I
pay this
understand.
whether they're signed. So, I mean, we need the invoices. That's the only problem I see.
And I'll print
Oh.
out the invoices when I get them
Yeah.
on
Okay.
email, and then they'll just be hit the card and we'll.
Yeah, I mean, that's up to you guys, it's your credit card.
Because that's, yeah, because Lori looks at,
It's not
and
yours.
those credit card things, and she notices when there's not.
Yeah, and you
in-
have
not
to
an
have
invoice.
an invoice with the
Right.
charge.
Yeah, I take care of the bills on our side, so any late payments are usually my fault anyway. So either I overlooked something or forgot to
Mhm.
sign something or didn't turn it in on time, so. It's not-
Well, I know that, just speaking from my experience back in the jail, that if the TV gets shut off, it's almost a near riot back
Oh,
there.
yeah, and this one happened on Christmas Day.
Oh,
And
wonderful.
then when Wayne came in on Monday and said that it got shut off, I offered him the
Yeah,
credit card
absolutely, yeah.
in order to get it turned back on.
Okay.
I'm like, if you need my credit card to turn it back on, please do it.
Yes, absolutely, there was no, yeah, and I called direct and said, hey, we can't have this. You either need to change the cycle or
Mhm.
something, but you
Yeah,
can't
we don't
have.
want our.
We
TV
just started
shut
with them, it was
off.
the first payment,
Mhm.
or second payment, I think.
Yeah,
And if we pay bills late, we get in trouble.
right.
We don't want to pay bills
Mhm.
late.
Yeah, and I don't
Being
wanna-
as in, I don't want to have a riot in the jail, and I know that those guys are quick to turn the switch off. And being as it sounds like it's just a timing issue of the cycle of
Right.
the mail and then payroll versus
That's like I
claims.
said,
and
so I
then
had them, instead of waiting for the
Mhm.
hard bill, they're gonna email me the bill. And then as soon as
Mhm.
that gets here, I'll just print that out with the
Yeah.
claim and take it
Yeah.
right to her.
That works.
You guys are both okay with it, as long as the
I'm good with it,
slip
yes.
gets turned in with the credit card thing, we should be fine with it. And
Yeah,
that way you don't have to risk the TV being turned off.
yep, that'll solve, because we had the same problem with Dish.
Okay, yeah.
So I think they have a 28-day grace period.
And the bad thing about Dish is they would bill in advance.
Yeah,
Like they would like, you're paying for December TV in November. I didn't.
yeah. So.
Well, then I'll move that we allow an automatic payment on the county credit card every month for the jail's television subscription.
I would second that.
Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Right.
Aye. Okay.
Sorry to waste your time.